Well, hello there. How are you? How about you and me get a little bit more acquainted with my BBC? You know what I mean, right? It's my black bike compressor.
Good day, everybody. Welcome back to another upload of It's a Dyer Thing. Rob here. Thank you very much for tuning in. First off, if you haven't subscribed, please do so and hit that notification button down at the bottom. This way you'll never miss a upload that I have or any kind of information. For those of you who have been following along, especially for this year, you've noticed that we've done a lot more adventure riding. And when it comes to adventure riding, I think the most important thing on any kind of dual sport riding, adventure riding, off-road riding is traction. A lot of times traction is also done and created from the inflation and deflation of your tires. Whereas when you're going off-road, you want to kind of deflate those tires to get a lot more traction. But then when you guys get back on the road and hit the highways back home or stuff like that, you want to then go back up and inflate your tires. So you could spend all day long pumping there with a hand pump if you want, or kind of go around and searching your Google Maps to see if you can find a garage that has one of those pay-as-you-go pumps. Or you can do what I just did today, is through Amazon. I ordered up a portable electric hand pump. It's actually quite cool. Let's open it up here and we'll kind of take a look at it. And at the same time, then I'll kind of go down into my garage and then actually give it a test on the Tenere 700 just to see how well these things work. So it's basically what do they call this? This is a brand of Cycle Plus, whatever it may be. It is a basic lithium polymer pump assembly, portable, as really small. Like that's no more than a pound and a half. So it is actually really super light. Would one want to start taking off the covers and trying to save a little bit more weight? Whatever. I wouldn't. I would just basically leave it like it is and put it in my backpack. There are multiple different brands out there that have different kinds of hose connections. A lot of them would be like a little screw-on valve, right? I didn't want that. I wanted a lock-on, lock-off, just due to the fact that it is a lot easier to physically put it onto your tube and lock it and then unlock it and then pop it out versus trying to unscrew it and then you're losing some air, right? So as you can see, it is fairly straightforward. You've taken out your carry pack, which actually it does come with one here, which is really cool. You put it up onto that, and from what I've read is you basically can power it on here. So we'll kind of power it on. Once it's powered on, you can then choose whether if you want to go into kilopascals, you want to go into bar, or you want to go in kilograms, right? So basically PSI is what I use. So I've set it to PSI, and then you can actually then adjust the how much you want to increase your PSI ratings here. So that's at 33, 34, 35. Once you've done that, basically you just power it on once it's on the actual tire, and it will inflate to that pressure. Once it reaches that pressure that you've set it at, it will then automatically stop. In regards to the sound, it's actually it's not too loud, but it works quite well. So when I put my finger on there, I basically squeezed it out enough back pressure that it triggered the auto stop function to work. So what is included in with this is you got a press to valve adapter here, which I can see. You got the charging cable, which just basically goes from a regular USB to a is that a USB-C? No, sorry, it's a micro USB. So micro USB to regular USB. And then we have this looks to be like a basic inflator there for any kind of blow ups or inflatables that you want to carry along with you in the backwoods. That is your own discretion. I'm not going to get involved with that. And then you have the ball inflator. So if you guys decide to go for a basketball game in the back of the woods, again, that's under your discretion. So there are instructions here on how to function it. I did notice it's basically a long press to turn it on, long press to turn it off. You have a plus and a negative here to change the setting pressure ratio. And then there's the changing of the different kinds of pressure that you are applying. So again, your kilopascals, your bar, your PSI, so on and so forth. I see there was a light on here, and as I've read just the instructions now, if I press and hold the setting button, there we go, we can turn the actual light on and off, right? So it's just basically like a little LED light, so if you are working in the dark and you need to pump it up, at least you can see. One thing I did notice, which I'm kind of not very happy on, is just that, yes, this is detachable, which is good because you want to be able to make it compact. And it does slide in there, which is really nice because you can basically keep it all in one shot. However, I find, yeah, look how loose that is, right? So if you're not careful, you could actually lose this. So I think what I'm going to do is basically just around this portion of the valve here, I'm just going to loop it a couple of times with some electrical tape just to build up a little bit of volume, so that when I do press it into here, it just kind of fits a little bit more press fit, so it won't slide out as easily. So for the most part, again, this cost here Canadian retail off of Amazon for $59. I've seen them anywhere between $59 to $67. There are some cheaper ones as well, but I basically went with the Cycle, or CYC PLUS, so Cycle Plus. Not Cycle because there's no L. So Cyc Plus is the brand I went with, just due to the fact that the reviews were actually quite good on that. So let's head on downstairs to the basement and let's give it a go onto my Tenere 700. I just will inflate the back tire, so I'll put the setting to, I don't know, to 30 pounds, give or take, and let's pump it up and see what happens. So stay tuned. All right, so here we're going to give this actual device a test run. So first thing you got to do is actually turn it on, and then we'll find our valve here of the tire. So generally, if I recall properly, I think I leave these runs around 26 PSI. Again, it's nice that you have the lock-on design. So once I've put it in, actually, so yes, it gives me the reading here of 25 PSI, 24 and a half. So let's set up our settings here to, let me bring it down to, here, you hold the camera. Bring it down to 30, let's bring it down to 30, and then press go. Now let's see what happens here. So basically it's just pumping up the tire here. So we're at 25. And it allows you to deflate your tires when it comes to doing trail riding. That is the biggest thing about traction, is being able to deflate your tires and inflate your tires back when you're on the highway or the roads, right? So there we go. So there, it stopped at 30, 31, right? So give or take, maybe 31, because as soon as I open this up, it allows probably 1 PSI out, maybe, right? So it's automatic. So as you saw, you can easily carry this around and just put it in a backpack. Takes up no room, super simple, and it is definitely enough to inflate your motorcycle tires. The nice thing about it, it's also a meter, and at the same time, it automatically stops at the setting that you want. So, all right, well, so there you have it, right? So as you guys saw, I physically put the pump onto the tire. We've set up our setting to 30 PSI. And once it hit the 30 PSI, or just at 31 PSI, so again, like I said, it's probably once you release that valve, you're dropping by 1 PSI. So we did that test. It actually worked fairly quickly, which I was fairly impressed on. And yeah, there was no troubles in regards to that. The power stays on for quite a long time. So I think it stated that it could do almost 4 full car tires, right? So I don't know how much of that is true, but again, between a car tire and a motorcycle tire, especially our off-road bikes, I don't see this being an issue, so I'm sure it can definitely pump it up and deflate it quite a few times. Worst case scenario, you can always have the power pack into, or this pump into your pack, or you can put it on a tank bag if you have a tank bag on your bike. and then most of us have auxiliary chargers off of the bike, so you can actually charge it on the go. So that's pretty smart. So like I said, the only thing I didn't like was how this the hose was loose. So what I'm going to do here with you guys real quick is basically just put a few bands of electrical tape just to see if we can get that to kind of make it a little bit, oh, that's a bit too much, see, so it doesn't really take that much here, so that's too much. Let's back it up a bit. So there you have it. So I've now installed just a band of electrical tape here, just kind of around here, just to kind of be more of a catch, so that when it does put it in, at least I know, you know, if I futz it around, it's not going to fall out. And that's the important part, is this kind of renders useless if you don't have your hose part, right? So there we have it. So kind of looks good. I like it. It's definitely Dyer approved. I think it's just a lot better than having to go around trying to find, you know, a pump somewhere from a gas station. Half of the time, gas station, their pumps either don't work or they don't have them anymore. And, you know, other than that, trying to carry around a block pump that you would have to plug it into your auxiliary. As a buddy of mine did that, he thought that was going to work. Unfortunately, it was drawing too much power and it kept blowing his fuses on the bike. So that kind of super sucked. And then the only other option would be like to clamp it up to your battery. Sometimes the battery can't be accessed. So I figured, you know what, this is probably the next best thing, is just basically get something that's an internal power source, but yet still strong enough with that lithium polymer battery to help it out. And so totally, hopefully, again, this helps, and it kind of gives you a bit of a better idea as to what this device is and how well it works. And should you have any questions, any comments, any feedback, do let us know. Again, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for your support. If you, again, haven't done so, please do so. Hit that subscribe, hit that notification button. Again, until next time, have fun, be good, be safe. Cheers. Don't forget, keep it covered, guys. All right. Bye-bye. How about you and me get a little bit more acquainted with my BBC? Yeah, you know what that is. It's my big black. Oh my God!